Hey everyone, Sabo here to review the Janek TP9 SFX striker-fired pistol. I actually found this pistol through competition shooting. I was looking at the Sig Sauer P320 X5, but decided on the Janek, and let's see what the comparison is going to be all about. So, the pistols considered for the review are the Janek TP9 SFX, Sig Sauer P320 X5, Springfield Armory XDM competition, Glock 34 Gen 4, and the Smith & Wesson M&P C.O.R.E ported. The basis for our comparison is as follows. Out of the box 3-gun competition readiness, out of the box value with mags, sights, trigger, barrel, the feel in our hand, charging, firing, kickback, and mag release, upgradability, parts, cost, and ease of upgrade, aftermarket and OEM replacement parts availability. I did not compare accuracy, although I do mention it a little bit, or the aesthetics of the pistols because they're all really good looking pistols. So let's get on with the comparison. So I built out a spreadsheet with general information, trigger and magazines, other attributes, upgrades to make each gun 3-gun competition ready. Okay, let's look at some general details here. This spreadsheet is attached to the video so you can review it at any time. All right, as you can see, this pistol is priced $100 under its closest competitor and $400 under the Sig Sauer. Weight, length, everything is pretty similar. Polymer frame. It does have the tungsten gray Cerakote slide, which hopefully will give that a little more longer life. Slide lightning, yes. It does come with Warren tactical sights, which are really good plus for a pistol at this price point. Sight radius is the longest of all the pistols, and it does have a match grade button rifle barrel. Now let's look at the trigger and magazine details for this pistol. So as you can see, it's got a curved trigger like most of them do. The Sig Sauer has a straight trigger. The trigger pull weight here is huge, 3.5 to 4 pounds. And when I say huge, I mean very good compared to the other triggers. Trigger take up and trigger reset are both excellent. Magazine capacity is 20 compared to the 21 for the Sig Sauer. Number of magazines included is 2. I wish they could have included another one. Extra magazine cost is pretty good, pretty cheap, and the magazine release is very easy to use. You will hear from me throughout this review how big a magazine release is to me for 3-gun competition. So overall, I think the Janek takes it in the trigger and magazine category. Okay, let's talk about some other attributes here. If we look at the like threaded barrel, accessory rail, grip type, it's pretty standard across the board. This one does come with a holster, which, I mean, it's okay, but you're going to use something else for competition. And the aftermarket and OEM replacement parts are readily available for the Janek. Not as good as the Springfield, Glock, or Smith & Wesson, but still parts are readily available. Now let's talk about some of the upgrade options and the associated costs. If you look at the Janek compared to the other pistols in this review, you'll see that from an upgrade perspective, there's really not a lot to do to this pistol. Guide rods and reduced friction spring, I already did that. That was one of the first upgrades I made, and it made a world of difference in the ammunition this thing could go through. Magazine base plate extension, as I said at the bottom there, ordered a couple from Taylon Tactical. It actually adds 2 to the magazine, not 4, because the mags already come with a +2 extension on them to give them 20 rounds. So the Taylon Tactical adds another 2, which brings the total round count to 22 rounds. But if you just pause the video here and kind of look at these comparisons and what you're going to invest in these other pistols, I'm not saying, that you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying this should give you an idea of what you're really going to invest if you want to get any one of these other pistols 3-gun ready. One thing I'll point out is a magwell. I've never used one, don't need one. So that's why it's not a big deal to me. All right, let's look at the final cost with upgrades and compare these pistols. So you can see here that the Janek at 549 base, 190 in upgrades that we discussed earlier, gives us 739. I actually got mine for 499 at Cabela's, and I got the Vortex Venom for 229, something like that. Now that is not included in this price, by the way. The Vortex Venom is not. These are just the upgrades, the spring, the rod, a couple more magazines, and magazine extensions from Taylor Tactical. So with that said, you can still see that this is 250 below the closest pistol, which is the Smith & Wesson. So you know what? It's a really good value for the pistol that you get. All right, let's take a quick look at the individual pistol reviews. The Smith & Wesson Performance Series C.O.R.E for $649. All right, let's talk about the price point here. At $649 base, not a good value for 3-gun because you require $349 in upgrades, in my opinion. So it is competition ready, but not unless you put a lot of money into it. Positives: ported barrel, reduced muzzle rise, high vis fiber optic sights, slide lightning, adjustable trigger stop, reset is pretty good, adjustable back strap, and aftermarket accessories are readily available for this pistol. Now let's go over some of the negatives. 17 round mags, not very good. And you can get extended mags, I know, but 17 round mags don't do it for 3-gun. Take up is pretty long. Upgrade cost of $349 is big. I have to reach for the mag release on this pistol, which I didn't like. Trigger pull was too heavy, and then the front sights do get dirty from that ported barrel. So why didn't I choose it? The trigger, heavy, had to replace, cost of upgrades, the mag release, overall feel, and that ported barrel just didn't do anything for me. All right, let's look at a very popular gun, the Glock 34 Mod 4 for $635 base. At this price point, it's really not a good value for 3-gun in my opinion, because of the many upgrades that are needed to make this 3-gun ready. $391 in upgrades. So yeah, it's just the value just isn't there for me. All right, with that said, let's talk about some of the positives though. It does have slide lightning. Trigger reset was pretty good. Adjustable back strap. Aftermarket accessories are highly available for Glocks. We all know that. Proven quality and a great platform. It felt good shooting. Really, it did. It felt good in my hand. It was pretty accurate right out of the box. And a very light feeling pistol. Almost too light for me, actually. All right, let's quickly talk about the negatives here. 17 round mags. I know you can get 33s, but it comes with 17. Take up is really long on this trigger, so you've got to replace it. Trigger pulls 5 to 6 pounds, just talked about that. Upgrade cost $391 to get it really 3-gun ready. I had to reach for the magazine release, and it came with standard sights, so another upgrade cost there for this pistol to make it 3-gun ready. All right, so pretty standard why I didn't choose this pistol. The trigger take up, the cost of the upgrades, the magazines, it really did feel too light and plasticky to me, which is why I just didn't get the Glock. All right, let's look at the Springfield Armory XDM competition at $700. Now at this price point, it's really not a good value for 3-gun competition because of the amount of upgrades that we have to put into it. We had to put $491, the highest of all pistols reviewed, in to get this really 3-gun competition ready. Let's talk about the positives here. Slide lightning, fiber optic front rear sights, long sight radius, 19 round mags, adjustable back strap, aftermarket accessories are available based on the XDM platform, and it did feel good shooting. I actually own 2 Springfield Armory XDMs. And I like them a lot for just regular shooting, but not for 3-gun. All right, let's go to the negatives. Take up is very long at a 1/2 inch. Trigger reset is very long. Trigger pull is really heavy. The upgrade cost of 400 and I think it says 83 here, but it's 91 is the highest. I had to reach for the mag release. That's why I don't like my other two Smithfield Armories. Mag release is just weird. And the accessories are pretty expensive. The mags say 30 here, but they're really more in the $40 to $50 range. So again, why I didn't choose this pistol: trigger take up, cost of the upgrades, the magazines, the mag release reach, and I said it shoots well, but it didn't shoot well for me, right? I own two of them. I love them. They're good pistols, but not for competition. All right, I was so pumped about this next one, the Sig Sauer P320 X5 full size, $949. Now this gun was actually supposed to be the competition gun right out of the box for about a couple of years ago. I actually ordered one, but went to the TP9 SFX after firing both of them and waiting 4 months to get this pistol because of a recall. At this price point, it's not that good of a value any longer. When I looked at them initially, they were like $800, $825, and they've actually gone up in value even with a recall in effect, which is strange. Competition ready? Yes, with very few upgrades needed. So let's talk about the positives. Lowest upgrade cost, slide lightning, Dawson precision front and rear sights, longer sight radius, 21 round mags, adjustable backstrap, aftermarket accessories are available. A straight trigger that breaks at 90 degrees. The trigger take up is very good at 3/16. The reset is about 1/4 inch, and easy magazine release on this pistol. So when I shot this, I thought I would like it. Let's get to the negatives. Okay, so the negatives here: trigger pull of 5.5 to 6 pounds. It's really heavy. It's really hard to find accessories for this thing. The take up on the trigger is 1/2 inch. It's really long. Mags and every other accessory are very expensive. It is currently under a voluntary recall for accidental discharging. Do some research on it. I don't think it was actually that big of a thing, and it really wasn't for the X5. Still not available after 3 months on back order. The trigger actually hurt my finger after about 40 rounds. I shot a buddy's pistol. He let me shoot it, and I'm telling you what, after 4 magazines, my trigger finger was sore from that straight trigger. And I have a straight trigger on my AR, so I'm used to a straight trigger. It's accurate, but it was not as accurate as the TP9 SFX. All right, I think I've run through why I didn't choose this pistol. The trigger feel when firing was just odd to me. The high cost, they've increased it, even though there's a voluntary recall. Just don't get that. I worry that they've missed the market with this pistol, and that's why I didn't buy one, because I thought, well, what if they kind of give up on it, and then I'm stuck with this pistol that I can't get any accessories for. Magazines are very hard to find, or you can't even find them, and they cost $40 plus now, up to $55. All right, let's talk about the Janek TP9 SFX pistol for $549. All right, Janek primarily thought of as low-end arms. They actually made their push into competition with this pistol. A friend of mine shot this in a match as a backup pistol, but he runs it now as his main pistol, as do I. I have to say the price point of $549 really is a great value for this pistol. This pistol really is competition ready with about $200 worth of upgrades to really get it 3-gun ready. All right, a lot of positives for this pistol. Long sight radius, adjustable backstrap, as they all did. Second lowest upgrade cost by $1. The slide lightning and a Cerakoted slide with a charging handle. Now the Cerakote I like because it's going to help protect that slide a little longer than the others. Warren tactical front and rear sights. So again, if you want to keep this just iron sights, you've got Warren tacticals out of the box. Really smooth 3.5 to 4 pound trigger pull. Trigger take up, I think I said earlier 3/16. It's actually about 3/8. But the trigger reset is really nice and crisp. 20 round mags, comes with 2 of them, wish it came with more. Some aftermarket accessories are available. Easiest magazine release I've felt. 4 optics plates out of the box, and it is very accurate. This is just a really well shooting pistol. All right, some of the negatives. Yeah, accessories are a little hard to find for this, but you can use some Walther and some other pistol accessories that fit this gun. So I'm researching that now. Currently under a voluntary recall for damaging internal parts by repeatedly dropping the pistol. If you're dropping your pistol all the time and you're going to break internal parts, please just don't buy a gun or own a gun. I didn't see a mag well for this pistol, although to me, as I said earlier, a mag well is not that big of a deal. All right, so why did I choose this pistol? Well, the trigger pull and the reset and the feel of it are all very good. It's a very smooth firing pistol. It's very accurate in my hand. It's got the higher capacity magazines, and as I said, I added Taylor Tacticals to add 2 more rounds to each. Very low upgrade costs. Out of the box, this thing is ready to go. $350 to $400 cheaper than other pistols once they're all loaded out for 3-gun competition. This pistol is an excellent value. All right, let's talk about upgrades now that I made to my Janek. So, Vortex Venom 3, TALON grip wrap, Taylor Tactical mag extensions on 2 of the magazines, and then the Sprinco recoil spring and rod, which really helps this pistol shoot any type of 9mm ammo. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to the unboxing, and we'll talk about a few other things related to this pistol. Hey guys, Sabo here. Just wanted to unbox my brand new Canik or Janek TP9 SFX. I got this at Cabela's, and I'm actually gonna push them a little bit here. The service there was excellent. I used to purchase my some of my guns from Gander Mountain, and I understand why they're not doing so well. Customer service differences are night and day. So when we open up the box, what do we have? Well, we have a little cleaner kit up here. We've got the paddle for the holster that it comes with that we're probably not going to use. We've got an owner's manual that's very nicely done. We've got a gun lock. We'll think about using that. Then we have the 4 different optics mounts that come with it. I'll be using the mount for my Venom red dot. I'm going to go ahead and mount this thing and see how that goes. We'll do that under a different review though. It comes with 1 magazine here with a kind of a cheap little magazine loader. I've got a mag puller, so I'll use that. But there's 1 magazine. Comes with a little kit, which is kind of cool, with all the stuff that you might need. Some extra fiber for the fiber optic sights, the different magazine release levels that you can install. I think this has the medium on it out of the box. We'll look at that in a minute. So there's that, and then of course the pistol itself. So you know, it's got this holster that it comes with. You know, I went ahead and got a Safariland GLS. What is this? The 578 Pro Fit holster that I'll wear for my 3-gun competition. And then it also has a magazine in the gun. These are 20-round magazines. I think I told you in my review that I ordered a couple 4+ magazines, so those should be coming today. Let's make sure that the gun is in fact unloaded. And as we can see, there's nothing in the chamber. There's no magazine. Let's bring that back down. And then we've got some paperwork here that we'll kind of get rid of. This green thing is here. Get rid of that. And there we have it. All right. So we've got to remove before firing on here. Now, as I said in the review, one of the reasons that I chose this pistol over the others was the feel of the pistol when I fired it. Also, the fact that it came pretty ready for 3-gun. The only thing that I might want to do, that I have done already, is I did order some TALON, got them right here, Got some TALON grips that I'll be putting on this. And then I probably will order a spring for the recoil from Sprinco, but I'm going to try it with the factory spring in it today. So again, as I said before, the things I liked about this were I love the finish on the slide. I love the trigger. So if you look at the trigger pull here, very crisp. You know what? It is a little longer than what I said in the review, so I'm probably going to measure this and then update that. I think I said it was an 1/8. That looks more like 3/16, and then actually you pull it back another probably 1/16. But that trigger pull is very crisp, and let's check the reset on that. So let's do trigger pull, reset. Reset is about 1/16 of an inch, so I need to upgrade or update my review with that as well. And then look at this. It's right there. I mean, you're right on the edge. Look at that. 1/16 there. So I'll update that on the video as I'm talking about it. The other thing that I remember telling you that I absolutely loved about this gun was the mag release button. Look at where it's located. On my, I should have brought it in here, but on my Smithfield Armory, this button release is way up front, and I've literally got to reach with my thumb to get a magazine out of this. Now in 3-gun, that's baloney, because when you're coming off firing and I've got to release a magazine, I just want to do this, right? I don't want to do this having to reach for it. So, and the other thing that you can see here is this magazine release, fire, fire, fire. Look, I'm not doing this to the gun. I'm not doing this to the gun. This magazine literally just falls out. Just literally falls out. So that is fantastic for me as far as I'm concerned. We'll go over breaking down the pistol at another time, but I just wanted to show this to you. It is a beautiful weapon. It feels fantastic in my hand. When you look at this backstrap, and I don't know if I'll update the backstrap or not. Yep, here's the other backstrap that I can put on it right here. We'll see, but this thing fits me to a T right now. So let's get the red dot mounted on it, and then we'll see what it looks like then, and then we'll go to the range. All right? Okay, so let's talk about a few of the reasons I got the Vortex red dot. Number 1 was the size. Number 2 was that it fit on my Canik TP9 SFX with plate number 1. Number 3 was the fact that you load the battery from the top, so you do not have to take the red dot off of the weapon to change the battery. That was a big thing for me. And as you saw on my my loopholed AR optic review, ease of use is a big thing for me. So very few things to mess with on this red dot, right? You've got a elevation screw, you've got a windage screw on the left or on the right of it, and then basically you have up, down for the brightness, and that's pretty much it, folks. I mean, it's about as simple as you can get. If you want to look at the red dot, I've got it on. Let's see if this thing will, if you can even see it through there. There it is. You can see it. It's pretty good. Let me bring the camera over here in the kind of in the black. That's a nice clear dot. It's 3 MOA. I was looking at 6, but I just wanted something a little smaller. Okay, so there's the red dot. Let's go ahead and get it mounted on the pistol, and well, let's get all that ready, and then we'll go over that. Okay, so as we said earlier, what I did is I unscrewed the rear plate that has the iron sights on it, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plate number 1 that comes with the pistol, and you kind of just have to finagle it in there. Make sure that these holes line up with the holes on the slide, and the number 1 is forward. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the screws that came that I took out for the slide there, 2 screws, and I'm going to use those to screw this back on. Okay, and let me go ahead and speed things up here, and then I'll come back once these are screwed in. Okay, well now we have the plate screwed on, and now what we're going to do is take the optic and we're going to just set it on here, and you'll hear it click into place. Okay, so once you put it on there, you'll see there's knobs in the 4 corners here of the plate, and there are indentations in the 4 corners on the underside of the red dot. You're going to feel those kind of click in. It almost feels magnetic to me, but I guess I don't think it is, but those will click in, and then what we're going to do is use the screws that were supplied with the Vortex sight or optic red dot to screw this onto the plate. All right, and I'll speed things up again because you don't need to be watching me screw in some screws. Okay, well, as you were watching, and you can really tell I'm doing this real time, folks, is that the screws that were supplied with the Vortex red dot do not fit the plate from the pistol, right, that's used from the pistol. So don't use these 3 screws that came with the red dot. They're not going to fit the plate. So what you do is you go back to the little tool kit that they gave you, and you'll see that you've got a couple longer screws here that you use for these. Now I already put that one in, so let me go ahead and speed things up, and you can watch me screw this other one in, and then we should have the optic attached. And there you go. So anyway, there we are. We've got it mounted on the gun. This will not be co-witnessed with the front sight there. But I think the next thing to do is see if it's going to fit our holster. All right, we're back. And, you know, thinking about it, that's why I say, you know, when I do things, I do them in real time. There's not a lot of rehearsal here. So, you know, I probably should have checked that the gun actually fit the holster that I purchased beforehand, but I already knew it did because a buddy of mine who let me shoot this gun a couple weeks ago, he had this exact same holster. So again, this is the Safariland 578 GLS ProFit holster. And you know, one of my main concerns was mounting an optic on here. Is this thing going to fit? The other concern of mine was the fact that all my other Safariland holsters are what is it, the LMS, locking management system, to where it has the thumb release up here in the holster, and I love that because when you grab for the pistol, your thumb naturally goes there and releases it. I wasn't sure if I'd like this GLS, which has the release down here, so as you grab the pistol, your finger's putting pressure on there and it's coming out. So let's see how this all fits together, right? Pistol, holster, is it locked? Yes, it is. Is it going to stay in there? Yes, it is. It's not coming out. Now, when I go to draw it, you can see my middle finger here. It's going up against that release, and I'm just going to bring the pistol out, right? Up against release, bring the pistol out. I actually like that. I think I'm going to like this a lot. As you can see, the optic, no problem there. And even if I had that bolt on the slide that I was trying to put on there, you can see that would actually fit with this holster, and the holster would not get in the way. So all in all, I feel really good about my purchase, the holster, the red dot, the pistol. I did buy 3 more magazines through Grab-A-Gun. They had them at a pretty decent price. I think I paid 28 bucks a piece for them. I'm going to leave these without the extension, so they'll just be 20 round magazines. And then when I get my Terran Tactical extensions. I just got 2 of them. That'll give me 2 magazines to start each stage with at 24 rounds apiece. So I'll have 48 rounds in 2 mags, which that should do me. The only other thing that I want to talk about here is the back strap on the pistol. Actually, 2 other things. The back strap, I'm going to leave this one on because I really like the way it feels. I'm not going to change it. And I'm going to take this to the range here in a little while. The other thing I may change is the mag release button. That's pretty tall for me. If you can see that there, you can see kind of how tall that is. They give you 2 other buttons, one that's even taller than this and one that's a little smaller than this. I'll probably change that one out. And all it is really just undoing this, this hex screw here, pulling this off and putting a new one on. I won't bother you with that. Let's take this to the range and let's see how we're going to shoot. Okay, so we're back at the bench. The bench is a mess because I've been doing a whole bunch of different stuff. But let's look at the results here of our shooting today. So you can see that right here, right down in here, was where we began sighting it in. Pretty good grouping. There was 2 shoot and see targets here. This was the last target that I shot with the 115 grain Freedom ammo. I had minimal jams on that ammunition. And then these are this is the grouping I shot here at, this was at 10 yards with 115 grain. Pretty good grouping, and I was, practicing kind of double tapping there too, so it's not as tight. And then the last set here is the 135 grain that jammed about every 3rd shot. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that Sprinco spring to put in that thing, because I have read that one upgrade will help you shoot the heavier ammo, especially the Freedom stuff. But here, all in all, it's pretty good grouping. High, as you can see on the 135, when I really targeted in on it and took my time, it was a little better grouping. But all in all, very happy with both the gun and the Vortex Venom optic. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the guns and get ready for a match tomorrow. Thanks, guys. All right, just got back from the range after installing the Sprinco rod and recoil spring in the pistol, and I have to say that I did not have one jam, and that was using 115 grain, 124 grain, 135 grain, and 147 grain ammunition. You'll notice the groupings are not tight. That's because I really did some rapid firing with all of that ammo. I just wanted to make sure that the pistol could cycle it properly, and it did. I had not one malfunction out of, let's see, about 450 rounds of ammunition. So I am very pleased with the Sprinco spring and rod, and this pistol is just exceeding all of my expectations. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you give me a like, and we'll see you next time.